Hello. Today, when I was preparing myself to do this session, um, I looked over and I saw this necklace that someone had given me that used to belong to his mom. And it made me started thinking about how blessed I am to still have my mom. It made me started thinking about how there are so many people who are losing their parents, and how this time of year and many others may be difficult for them. It is not easy losing anyone that you love. Um, we've lost mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, children. We've lost so many people. And it is very unfortunate, but it is the cycle of life and it happens. Unfortunately, we lose some of these people really, really soon in life, and some of these people we lose to violent crimes and so on and so forth. Some of these people we lose to illnesses, and some of these people we lose just due to old age. And it's very painful. It's very painful to deal with that when it happens, but it's especially painful to deal with it when birthdays and holidays and special days come around. It's very painful. It makes it sometimes a little unbearable to deal with it. I myself have lost a child, and I know all too well what it's like to suffer that loss. Um, I was never really close to my dad, so um, I don't know really what that experience is like when you're close, when you're raised by your dad, so on and so forth. And I do not want to think for one moment what it would be like to not have my mom. Um, I know what it's like to bury a sister. Uh, but the levels of that differ depending on your relationship and how close you were and so on and so forth. Grieving has its own process. Grieving has its own process, and we all go through it differently. We all deal with our grief differently. Some of us take longer than others to get to a place of understanding and healing, because you never get over it. You never get over it. I mean, I was very, very proud of myself this year when December the 17th came and passed. And the thoughts of my son, because that was his birthday, it played over and over in my head, and he will be 16, and the time that passed and so on and so forth. But it did not break me like how it used to break me. It didn't break me at all. I smiled. I thanked God for what He gave me. I thank God for my understanding. Thank God for where I sit today and where I am today, and I was happy with myself. I was happy because I saw the progression in me. I realized that I can still love him. I can still miss him. And yet I can still move forward without having a total breakdown. And that's a wonderful thing. When you get to that place where, in my opinion, that's that place of understanding. Understanding. And it's a whole process that we go through. We go through denial and withdrawals and, anger. Before all these processes, before we even get to our place of understanding. Um, and I was so, so proud of Monica. I was so proud of her. Um, you know, you had to be where I was, where I've been, to really understand what I've been through and the pain that I carried, the guilt that I've carried, um, so on and so forth. When it comes to that situation, you wouldn't understand. But I was so happy for me. I was very happy for me. Uh, and so April the 20th will come, and that's the day he passed, and it won't be. I know it just will be like, okay, remembrance always. I remember him every day. I have other kids. I look at them. I see him. My granddaughter now, my new granddaughter. Every time I hold her, every time I look at her, I see him. Every single time. Every time. And it used to be where I couldn't hold the babies until they got a certain age. And my grandson, I didn't hold him until he was like 2 2 months. He's 1.5 now. She was fresh out. She was like a week old, and my youngest daughter just came and said, "Here, Ma," and I'm like, reserved. Like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it, and I just did it. I mean, I didn't do it for a long time. I held her, and because yeah, I deal with anxiety. I started feeling real anxious, and then she's small, so I was like, I don't know. But I do it, but I do it in spells. I do it in spells. I don't hold her for long periods of time. I don't look at her for really long periods of time, because she does look just so much um, like my son. I mean, like, wow. And then he was premature, so her being so small and everything. But I mean, I've come a long way, a very long way. So, he's never far from my mind. Um, but I just know how to deal with my feelings now when it comes to that. I know how to deal with my emotions, you know. That pain, I know how to deal with that in productive ways, because you'll always feel some amount of pain, you know. You're going to feel some amount of sorrow, and it just is what it is. You can't take that away. No one can take that away. But I just want you all to know that these everyone who's um, going now through, with the Christmas holiday coming upon us and a new year, and you having to go into that year without the one you love, that it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And you have to allow yourself time to walk slowly at your pace. Don't allow anybody to rush you at your pace to get to that place of understanding. And as you travel and journey down the road to get to that place of understanding, you're going to experience a lot of feelings. And it's okay, it's natural. But you have to remember how to direct your anger, how to cope with your pain during the process. Because there'll be a lot of people around you, and all they want to do is assist. All they want to do is help. All they want to do is to be there for you in your time of need, and you can't lash out. You can't get so frustrated in yourself, you know, and not being able to deal with your feelings, that you start pushing people away that love you very much. You need those people now more than ever to help you to get through this process. Okay? If you need a moment to yourself, there are polite ways to say that, you know. There are ways to do things without hurting people. We understand that you're hurt. We get it. But don't hurt others because you're hurting. Allow others to be a part of your healing process. It's very important. We can't do this thing by ourselves. And remember to pray, pray, pray. You know, we may not get our answers to our prayers right away. We may not. All things come in His time. It's not our timing. We're not on our time. That's the problem. Most of us think we're on our time. We're not. So we have to be patient. We have to be faithful. And we have to be diligent, okay, in our quest. And we have to remember that this is just a natural process. A natural process. And we all have to go through it. We all have to go through it. It would be lovely if we could live forever. In this world, I think not. I would rather not live forever. It's enough living, yeah. So it's a process that we have to go through. All right? And, you know, one of the things that help a lot, I didn't have a lot of memories because, you know, my son was in the hospital and he was only 4 months when he passed. And so, but the few memories that I had, it's refreshing to go back and think about those things, being at the hospital and changing him and holding him and things of that nature, you know. Just having that one-on-one time that we used to have when he was in the hospital, because he never came home, so we never had that. Remember those times, those good times. Remember those lessons, you know. Remember those moments of joy. Remember those moments. Remember all those things that Mama used to say and Daddy used to say and Grandma and Grandpa used to say and Auntie and Uncle, your big brother, your little sister, your big sister. Remember those times. Remember the laughter. Remember the joy. Remember all the good things, because see, those things are going to help you through, you know. We concentrate so much on what took them away, we forget to remember what it was like when they were here. And if we do that more, it helps our process if we do that more, to remember what it was like when they were here. Yes. All the good times you shared, all the family outings and the conversations, all the love they gave you and showed you, and how they helped to build you up and bring you to where you are today. Yeah. We have to remember those things. Those are things we need to hold on to. We need to hold on to those things. Let's try. You know, it's a process with that. Let's try to forget. Put that to the back of our mind. Not really forget. Put that to the back of our mind. What took them away from us? Let's try not to dwell on that so much, because that holds us in a state of pain when we dwell on that, you know, too much. And I know, I used to do it. So we have to remember the good times. And the good times are those times that's going to bring us through. That's when we're going to start seeing ourselves moving through our process of grieving, you know. Because we carry them in our hearts and our souls. You know, part of them is still with us always. I believe that. I believe that. You know. So we have to carry those things. We have to remember those things. We have to dwell in those places, the places of happiness, and allow that to fill our mind and our hearts and our soul. And it'll bring comfort to us every time. Every time. You know, we have to smile more at the things that happened when they were here that made us smile. Instead of feeling sorrow because we'll never see or hear or feel those things again, they're still in us. As long as we have a brain, we can remember. As long as we have a heart, we can feel what it felt like when we was going through that emotion. As long as, you know, as long as we're here, as long as we're here, and we set it in our mind to keep the memory alive, then we're going to remember those things that made us feel alive when they were here with us. We're going to remember all the good. All the good. It takes a part of us when we just dwell in how they left. It takes a part of us when we try to figure out why. We don't know why this happened. We don't know why. It just is what it is. Why so soon, and this and that. All of this was preordained. I believe that. I'm a firm believer that everything was preordained. My life was written before I got here. Yours, yours, yours. I believe that. You don't necessarily have to believe it, but I do. So with that belief, there sets a stage of acceptance when certain things happen. And yes, naturally, we're going to go through a whole process because that don't kick in all the time right away. But that's my reality. I make it my business. If I never had to go to a funeral, I wouldn't. Because I would much rather remember you how you were in this life rather than remember you how I last saw you. And when I do go to funerals, I do not view bodies. I do not. That's not how I want to see you. That's not how I want to remember you. And I'm very mental, so I replay that over and over and over and over again in my mind, and that adds to my pain. That adds to, the journey of my healing, because it just makes it harder and harder and harder because I'm constantly remembering the last time I saw you, and the last time you saw a person, they were in the casket and so and so. It makes it very, 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 very hard. So let's try to get away. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what works for me. From that, and let's remember people how they were in life when they were here, how we last saw them when they were alive, when that light was in their eyes, when they was breathing, yes. Let's try to let's remember that. Let's remember that more. All those good, great things that they brought to our lives. Let's remember that more. And it'll help with the pain and the discomfort, if we do that. It really would. So like I was saying, take your time and go through your process. Go through your process, but be productive in it. Don't be disruptive and destroy things and break other people down. I know I did it. That doesn't help your situation. That doesn't help anything. That only hurts you, and in turn is hurting other people around you that only want to see you heal. Okay? So I just want you to remember that. Remember that. Take a moment. Take a moment to just be in silence sometimes. And just dedicate that time to those people that you love, that are no longer in the physical form here with you. They are still in the spiritual form here with you. Understand that. They're just not in the physical form. So sometimes you just take time to yourself. Just step away from it all. And remember. Remember. The worst thing you can do is forget. Forget the good. Because that brings a level of guilt that you don't want to deal with. So just always take time to remember. Always take time for yourself. Always allow yourself to go through the process. To go through the process. It is very important. You can't run from it. You can't run from it. Because all you're doing is prolonging it. And then when it does come out, it's going to come out, oh, it's going to be a nasty thing. So allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel some sadness. It is okay. No one's expecting you to be Superwoman or Superman. It is okay. You're human. And when you feel pain, the natural thing to do is to cry, right? Yes. Crying heals the soul. It really does. When you feel something, it's okay to go and talk to someone you trust and let them know, I feel this way. It is okay. And for those people who have people very close to them that has lost someone, you have to be the strength for them, you know. Make yourself available for them. Make yourself available for them. It is very important because we have no idea what they're going through. We really don't. And on the outside, I tell you, I'm the great pretender. I mean, even now, sometimes I still do it. I smile, but I'm dying inside. I don't do it as much. Most of the time when I smile, I really genuinely mean that. But there are a few occasions when I'm smiling and I really know that I'm still hurt in some ways. So just because you see a person and they're carrying on with their life and it appears that they're fine, don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by that. That's just the only way that they know how to deal. That's just the only way they know how to cope and to keep on moving through this thing is to and really actually in some ways they're faking themselves out. They're faking themselves out. You know, because they feel this pain and they're trying so hard not to. And then, you know, they had this thing, some people, I know my mother once told me, I asked her, I said, I was all broken down. This was really the first time I experienced death. It was my great-grandfather. Um, my grandfather. And I was a mess. You know, I was a little girl, like 13 years old. And maybe it was 12. I think it was 12. So anyway, everyone around was crying. And I'm just like, I didn't understand because I didn't, you know, it's just the first time seeing it. And it just all hit me. And I'm very emotional. So it was like, wow. And I loved Granddaddy. That, oh my God, that was a man. That, I mean, I loved him. I loved him. Um, and I asked her, I said, Mommy, why aren't you crying? Aren't you sad? She said, yeah, Monica, I'm sad. But I have to be strong for everybody else. And there's a lot of people that feel the way my mother felt. That she had to be strong for everybody else. And she had to carry that inside of her. I wonder, when did she cry? But then I saw her acting out in other ways. So I realized as I got older and seeing certain things and then seeing how angry she was sometimes and all of this and all that and seeing some stress. No, you don't see it right away. When you're that young, you see it, but you don't really realize what it is. As I got older and really started analyzing and looking into things and, you know, going back, yeah, I realized this, she was dealing with a lot of pain. She was dealing with a lot of pain, and hers, she was doing it in destructive ways. I mean, I had never seen my mother drinking. She started drinking after that. She was dealing with it in destructive ways. Not hard drinking, but I never saw her drinking. So it was like, yeah, when I think about it, it's like, wow. Okay? So you don't know. So don't be fooled because people try to move on and go on and do things and try to find things to fill the gaps and the voids in their life. Don't think that they're not phased or that they're cool. Don't think for one moment that that's the case. They're just trying to find ways to deal. And they don't know how. So they try to find any way. Some people just like surrounding themselves with other people. Just need to have other people in their space to help them to not think about it as much. You know, some people just act out and just do crazy things. You don't know. You have no idea. We all go through this thing and deal with our process of pain differently. We have no idea. So we have to be conscious that we have no idea and allow each other to go through our process, however it may be. However it may be. And understand that no two people are alike. Just because you deal with your situation one way does not mean that I'm going to deal with mine that way. So we have to keep that in mind all the time. We have to keep that in mind. So I want to offer my condolences. I want to let you know that prayers will be answered. I want to let you know that old saying, that weeping endures for a night and joy come in the morning, or something like that. Y'all know where I'm going with that. You won't always be in this state. You won't always be in this state. Just stay on the good. Stay on the good. Hold tight to those memories and do them proud. Make your loved ones proud. They believed in you. They had faith in you. They loved you. They looked up to you. So you keep moving in the directions that you're moving in. So whenever you think about them, you can look and think about them in pride to say that I accomplished these things and I know that so-and-so will be proud of me. And be proud of yourself, of the accomplishments that you're making. Some of us get so down, we just stop moving. We just let everything go and just fall apart. And we can't do that. We got to keep on pushing on by any means necessary. And we got to do it more. Because when we lose one person, that means we got to carry more weight of the family on our shoulders and on our backs. And that's an honor and a privilege. Don't think for one moment that it's a burden, because it's not. Okay? All those things that mom told you and dad told you, you hold on to those things. You keep on moving. Make them proud. Make them proud. Little brothers, little sisters, big brothers, big sisters, you keep on moving. They looked up to you. You looked up to them. Y'all building each other up when they were here. You keep on building. You keep on building. You keep on moving. Don't for 1 second stop. Losing children, it's okay. It's okay. It'll get better. Your process, your understanding, it will get better. Just allow yourself to go through the process of healing. It is okay. Just hold on to those good memories, those things that brought you joy. Remember those things. Those things is what's going to bring healing to your heart, comfort to your soul, and add to you understanding. So let's be patient with ourselves, the people around. Let's be patient. Let's all show each other love and kindness, and let's remember that one day will be our day. And we have to make sure that we impact this world in a positive way and that we do positive things so that when we take our last steps, when we take our last breath, people will remember us and they'll remember the good that we impacted them with. They'll remember all the love and the joy that we brought to their lives. So let's use these moments. Let's use these times when we're going through times of, people losing people, to remind us of how we want to be living our lives and how we want to leave this world in a better place than we found it. Okay? Let's remember. Let's not shun anyone. Let's always be a shoulder to lean on and an ear to listen, a hand to hold, always. Because you never know when it will be your turn. So stay mindful of that and give to each other what you would like for them to give to you. Love, respect, patience, understanding, and support at all times. I love you all dearly. Enjoy your holiday. And remember that it's okay. It gets a little bit easier as the days and the years go by. But what you hold inside is your greatest treasure. Never let that go. Stay in remembrance of your loved ones. And everything you do it with pride. So if they was here, you would only see smiles. You would only hear praise. Okay? Remember that. Life does not end because you lost someone. So we got to find the will to keep on living, to keep on going, to keep on moving, even through our loss. Our loss. Okay? All right. I'll get to y'all soon. Love you so much. MJK.